Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue reading from Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 11. Today we're asked to discuss 3 slokas, 18, 19, and 20. So text 18. Tvam aksharam paramang vidityam. Tvam asya visvasya param nidhanam. Tvam avyaya sasvata dharma gopta. Sanatanastvam puruso mato me. Tvam, you, Aksharam, the infallible, Paramam, supreme, Veditavyam, sounds like vegetarian. Veditavyam, to be understood. Tuam, you, Asya, of this, Visvasya, universe, Param, supreme, Nidhanam, basis, Tuam, you, Avyaya, inexhaustible, Sasvata Dharmagopta, maintainer of the eternal religion, Sanatana, eternal, Tuam, you, Purusha, the Supreme Personality, Matame, this is my opinion. Translation. There's no purport here. You are the supreme, primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible, and you are the eldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Next text. I'll just do it myself. Well, you can repeat it also. One time. Anadi madyantam anantaviryam. Anantabahum sasi surya nitram. Pasyami tvam diptahuta sabhaktram. Swateja bisvam idang tapantam. Word for word meaning. Anadi, without beginning. Madhya, middle. Antam, or end. Ananta, unlimited. Viryam, glories. Ananta, unlimited. Bahum, arms. Sashi, the moon. Surya, the sun. Netram, eyes. Pashyami, I see. Tvam, you. Dipta, blazing. Hutasabhaktram, fire coming out of your mouth.
Fire coming out of your mouth.
Swatejasa,
Tejasa,
by your radiance.
radiance.
Vishwam,
Vishwa,
universe.
universe.
Idam,
Itam,
this.
this.
Tapantam,
Pantam,
heating.
eating.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Purport. There is no limit to the extent of the six opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here and in many other places there is repetition. But according to the scriptures, repetition of the glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. It is said that at a time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy, statements are repeated over and over. That is not a flaw. Okay, we'll also read text 21 now. Jab pritibhyor idam antaram hi vyaptam tvaya kena disascha sarva Drista bhutang rupang ugrang tavedam Loka trayam pravyatitam mahatman. A translation. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Purport. Jab a pratibhyo, the space between heaven and earth, and Lokatrayam, the three worlds, are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only did Arjuna see this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems saw it also. Arjuna's seeing of the universal form was not a dream. All whom the Lord endowed with divine vision saw that universal form on the battlefield. Amagyanan timirandasya gyanan gyana shalakaya chakshurun militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Sakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Bandhu Ragatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kipa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So here, the darshan of the Lord in His universal form is being manifested to the eyes of Arjuna, and many other personalities also are witnessing this. Not just those who were in the battle of Kurukshetra 5,000 years ago, but even the denizens of the heavenly planets, the demigods, they're also having this special darshan of the Supreme Lord in His Virat Roop. Virat Roop means the universal form. Universal form means it is material, but because of the Supreme Lord is the embodiment of everything, Krishna is present in everything, but everything is not Krishna. This is the understanding that we receive from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This universal form also is temporary, because at the time of the annihilation, then that form will vanquished. But at the same time, because it is form of the Lord, which is expanding from the topmost planetary system down to the lowest planetary system, all the three worlds, upper, middle, and lower planetary systems, then it is also considered as, because it's connected with the Supreme Lord, it is eternal. But at the same time, there is annihilation, there is a creation, there is maintenance, and there is also a dissolution. So this universal form of the Supreme Lord that's being witnessed by Arjuna, as we have heard here, is not a dream. It's not some kind of phantasmagoria. It's not something which is out of one's imagination. It's an actual form of the Supreme Lord, and it is what you call Kalarupa. Kalarupa. That form of the Supreme Lord which is being manifested here is the time form of the Supreme Lord. Time I am, the destroyer of everything. So from now on till the 30th sloka, the description of this universal form is given. From the previous chapter, 10th chapter, Krishna described to Arjuna about his opulence or opulences, which pertains to the greatest of them all. It's like of the river, I'm Ganga, of the so many things. Of gambling, I'm the cheats. Of splendid, I'm the splendor. Of the strength, I am the strong, or I'm the strength of the strong. Many different descriptions. So here, to further give an indication of the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna requested him to show this universal form. This is the basis whereby if one wants to claim as the Supreme Lord, then one may ask, well, show me your universal form. And no one else can do this except the Supreme Lord himself. However mighty or powerful a personality is, he's not able to show this, not unless he is the Supreme Lord himself. So this is like a challenge with those, especially here in India. There are many so-called gods. Every day there is a born god here. Maybe not just one. As Prabhupada says, there is a factory of God in India. They manufacture their own concoctions whereby they claim that I am God. That God, this God. Especially if you go to South India. They can create some gold somewhere from nowhere, not from somewhere, from nowhere. They can have like golden egg coming out from their mouth, and they can sprinkle some gold. But they're all fakes. One time they did a video and they can trace that he's just some kind of magician. But the Supreme Lord is not a magician. The Supreme Lord is real, and whatever He creates is tangible. Everything is real. So this message from the Supreme Lord showing His universal form gives indication that yes, He is the greatest. He is the topmost. He is supreme. As Prabhupada mentions here in the purport, that there is some repetition here. It's being repeated many times. Here and in many other places there is repetition, but according to the scriptures, repetition of the glories of Krishna is not a literary weakness. This has to be done especially for the antagonists, for the atheists, for the impersonalists. This kind of manifestation of the Supreme Lord is to dispel doubts, to dispel ignorance, to dispel one's own weakness, and able to understand the nature of the Supreme Absolute Truth. So it is mentioned that yes, even the demigods, they are also having darshan of this Virat Roop. The same time when Lord Krishna was showing this form to Arjuna, but because of the relationship that one has towards the Supreme Lord, then not all of them sees the Lord in a favorable way. Some of them are in enmity. Some of them are not in a friendly way. And therefore, because of their position, they are able to see also the universal form. But not in the context whereby to understand that Krishna is a Supreme Lord. Some are very much afraid. They are They feel horrible. They felt that, alas, alas, this is it now. We're finished. We're over. Because they see him as death personified. It's like Kamsa. He didn't see Krishna as the supreme lovable object. He sees, Kamsa sees Krishna as death personified. So similarly, some of these personalities who witness this form of the Lord, this Virat Rup, the universal form of the Supreme Lord, some of them are very, very frightened. This is what you call Aishwarya. Some of them also, just to see this form of the Supreme Lord, they felt with awe and reverence towards the Supreme Lord. He says that even Vyas, he saw also the form of the Supreme Lord, universal form. Bhishma also, he saw. But not everyone in the battlefield. Not everyone. And seeing this divine vision is like Arjuna, he was given the divine eyes. And only devotees, they were given the divine vision to see this form of the Supreme Lord. Not everyone. Out of their position, they could see. But they're not able to really appreciate and admire how actually this is beautiful. Beautiful in a sense because of having relationship none other than the Supreme Lord. And even later on, Arjuna, he became afraid that he wanted to see back again the original form of the Supreme Lord, that two-armed form. That two-armed form. It says in the Srimad Bhagavatam that for the neophyte, he is advised to worship the Supreme Lord in this universal form, Virat Rup. It's easier for him to relate. In the neophyte stage, he has many material desires to be fulfilled, and therefore worshiping these different demigods who are part of the universal form, then just by worshiping them, gradually they will make advancement. And eventually they'll find out that the source of all the different benedictions that they receive from the different demigods, according to their desires, is being fulfilled none other than the Supreme Lord Himself. In the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, first chapter, there is a description of the Virat Rup. It's a little bit more comprehensive. The first step of God realization. With your permission, would like to read some parts of this. Because the mind is very chanchala, very flickering, that the mind has to be focused on a certain meditation, should be absorbed in a certain object. And in the beginning, our mind cannot focus immediately on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So Srimad Bhagavatam explains that, yes, The mind has to be applied and fixed something so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. Well, if your mind is completely cleansed, then you can meditate immediately on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord without any difficulties. But in the beginning, our mind is like, not in the beginning, even right now, that the mind is so turbulent. It goes here and there. It goes all over the universe. So it has to be removed. So it explains here that before the mind can become peaceful, he has to choose, person has to choose a sitting place where it is kind of secluded, peaceful. His posture should be erect. His breathing is there, exercised, pranayam. And then gradually the control of the mind and the senses will be there along with the intelligence, and then it can be applied to the gross potencies of the Lord called Birat Rup. Has to be regulated. This is for those who are personalities who are in the neophyte. Actually, they're less than neophytes. It says in the Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 9, text 15 also. There are 4 kinds of personalities who approach the Supreme Lord. Those who are in distress, those who are in need of money, those who are inquisitive, and those who are genuine seeker of knowledge. But lesser than that are the antagonist, the impersonalist, and especially those who are wanted to worship the demigods for their own material benefits. So they're like way down, and this is the recommended meditation for those who are materially inclined and just to fulfill their material desires by worshiping the different parts of the limbs of the Supreme Lord, demigods. So this gigantic universal form of the personality of Godhead within the body of the universal shell, which is covered by 7-fold material elements, is the subject for the Virat conception. What are these elements or different elements? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. This is the coverings of the universe. And it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and ultimately the thickest of them all is the false ego. So this universal form, it says here, constitutes different planets known as Patala. That means really lower planetary systems. And the universal form, because of these different planetary systems, is compared also to the different parts of the Lord's body. Patala and Rasatala are the heels and the toes of the Lord. The ankles are the Mahatala, and his shanks constitute the Talatala planets. The knees of the universal form are the planetary system of the name Sutala, and the 2 thighs are the Vitala and Atala planetary systems. The hips are the Mahitala, and the outer space is the depression of his navel. So these different planetary systems. His arms are the demigods headed by Indra. The 10 directional sides are his ears. What are those 10 directions? I mean, it's east, west, north, south, then, northeast, southwest, all of this, up and down. Yeah, that's the 10. His nostrils are the 2 Ashwini Kumaras, and material fragrance is his sense of smell. His mouth is the blazing fire. The sphere of outer space constitutes his eye pits, and the eyeball is the sun as the power of seeing. His eyelids are both the day and night, and in the movements of his eyebrows, the Brahma and similar supreme personalities reside. His palate is the director of water, Varuna, and the juice or essence of everything is his tongue. They say that the Vedic hymns are the cerebral passage of the Lord, and his jaws of teeth are Yama, god of death, who punishes the sinners. The art of affection is his set of teeth, and the most alluring illusory material energy is his smile. This great ocean of material creation is but the casting of his glance over us. Modesty is the upper portion of his lips. Hankering is his chin. Religion is the breast of the Lord, and irreligion is his back. Brahmaji, who generates all living beings in the material world, is his genitals, and the Mitra Varunas are his 2 testicles. The ocean is his waist, and the hills and mountains are the stacks of his bones. O king, the rivers are the veins of the gigantic body, the trees are the hairs of his body, and the omnipotent air is his breath. The passing ages are his movements, and his activities are the reactions of the 3 modes of material nature. O best among the Kurus, the clouds which carry water are the hairs on his head. The termination of days and nights are his dress, and the supreme cause of material creation is his intelligence. His mind is the moon, the reservoir of all changes. The principle of matter, Mahatattva, is the consciousness of the omnipresent Lord, as asserted by the experts, and Rudradev is his ego. The horse, mule, camel, and elephant are his nails, and wild animals and all quadrupeds are situated in the belt zone of the Lord. Varieties of birds are indications of his masterful artistic sense. Manu, the father of mankind, is the emblem of his standard intelligence, and humanity is his residence. The celestial species of human beings like the Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Charanas, and angels all represent his musical rhythm, and the demoniac soldiers are representations of his wonderful prowess. The Virat Roop's face is the Brahmanas, his arms are the Satriyas, his thighs are the Vaishyas, and the Sudras are under the protection of his feet. All the worshipable demigods are also overtaken by him, and it is the duty of everyone to perform sacrifices with feasible goods to appease the Lord. I have thus explained to you the gross material gigantic conception of the personality of Godhead. One who seriously desires liberation concentrates his mind on this form of the Lord, because there is nothing more than this in the material world. So, yes, before one can realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can, in the beginning stage, admire these different forms of the Supreme Lord, different parts of the Virat Roop, understanding that how the Supreme Lord manifests himself in this form, because it is more of the Aishwarya mood, the mood of awe and reverence, how the Supreme Lord manifests himself in such a way that even for a beginner, he can easily realize the Supreme Lord. To understand the Supreme Lord and realize and develop one's love towards the Supreme Lord in his Tribanga form, Shama Sundar form, is the highest. And one may not be able to immediately come to that platform, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it so easy for us. Just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and eventually, if we chant without any offenses, we'll be able to have darshan of the Supreme Lord eventually in his personal form as this Shama Sundar form. So it is very significant, especially when Arjuna asked this form of the Supreme Lord to be manifest in front of him. This is not for Arjuna. This is for us, so that ultimately we'll be able to admire and understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. For Arjuna, he doesn't really want to see this, but he asked Lord Krishna to show this universal form for the future. That means that future is now. And more as Kali Yuga progresses. Because this is not the real form of the Supreme Lord. It is still temporary, because when the material creation or the universe becomes annihilated, then this universal form also will disappear, and then at the creation, then the universal form again will come about, will happen. So yes, the Aishwarya mood of the Supreme Lord is being exhibited here, specifically for those who are in doubt whether Krishna is God or not. For the Brajavasis, what is this form is not really counted. For the Brajavasis, it doesn't matter whether Krishna is God or not. They even think sometimes, even if he's a demigod, we don't care. Still, he is our most lovable object. Yeah, sometimes when the Brajavasis, they will talk with each other, they think, oh, he's killing many demons. Maybe he's a Narayan. Maybe he's a demigod. We don't care. Whether he's Narayan or not, he's still our most lovable object. For Nanda Maharaj, Krishna will always be his son. Even Mother Yasoda, sometimes she would pray or utter some mantras for protection. Whenever Lord Krishna will go for pasturing the calves and the cows, she will always utter some mantras to her dear most lovable son, so that he will be protected. But she doesn't know that he is the protector of everyone. Mother Yasoda also, she had darshan of this universal form when one day the cowherd boyfriends, they had some fight, and also their play. Their fighting is not really fighting. You know, kids, they fight, right? But they don't. After a few seconds, they're friends again. So they told Mother Yasoda that Krishna ate some mud. There is this place, Brahmandagat, right? Yeah, Brahmandagat. This is the place where Lord Krishna performed these pastimes of showing the universal form to Mother Yasoda, because he's not telling lie. Actually, he said, "Oh, they're telling lie. I did not eat any mud." He didn't really, but they said, so that he'll be chastised by Mother Yasoda. Then Mother Yasoda asked Lord Krishna, "Okay, if it is true that you did not eat mud, show me, open your mouth." So he opened his mouth, and the entire universe is there. Vrindavan is there also, and Mother Yasoda saw herself also with Krishna inside. And because of the Yoga Maya potency, she became covered up. She actually saw, still, it is not imaginary. It is real. One whose belly is bound by this, you see in India, they put this black strings, right? What do you call it? Yeah. That's for protection. They have some mantras, right? But then in his mouth is like, how can you put the string in his belly? And then at the same time, it's not limited only up to that, because when he opened his mouth, then everything is inside. So how can that thread be able to bound that? It's not possible. Yes. She was thinking, am I dreaming? Is this real? And then when she came out of that part of the covering of Yoga Maya, then somehow back into reality. And then Krishna says, you see, I'm not lying. I did not eat any mud. Did you see any mud inside? No. But actually, everything is inside. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he showed that universal form somehow to some of his devotees. So this universal form is there not to frighten the devotees, but to show others his unlimited opulence, so that somehow they will also understand and realize that Krishna is God. Krishna doesn't have to prove himself as God to the devotees. He doesn't need to show the universal form to the gopis or to his cowherd boyfriends. So Arjuna eventually he'll realize that, this is not really like the one that I'm relishing the most, this form of the Supreme Lord. So before manifesting himself later on into the two-armed form, first he manifests himself, Lord Krishna, in the four-armed form. And still Arjuna is not so happy with that form, that Narayan form. And eventually he showed his original form, Tribhanga form. We'll stop here. Any questions on this? Or any points? Where's the mic? Let's go here first, then that's the closest. Hare Krishna.
Two questions. In your reading from Bhagavad-Gita, you mentioned stocks in relation to bones.
What?
You mentioned stocks when you were reading in relation to bones. What are stocks?
Stocks?
Stocks and bonds, you know, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the Wall Street, stocks and mountains.
They're
You
mountains.
know what he say?
No.
Why is it stocks?
Stocks and bones.
Stocks and
Oh, they're it's like the yeah. If I can remember, they're like his hair or something.
Second question. If these living entities on other planetary systems have divine eyes of Krishna to see the universal form, would they have known what it was?
No, because of their relationship with him is different. They're in enmity. Some of them are in enmity. Some of them are not in a friendly relationship. It's like Arjuna. So they see it in a different way. They thought that the whole universe will be devastated when they witness. Arjuna is in the Sakya Ras. So according in Nectar of Devotion, there are 12 rasas, 5 major and then 7 minor. Ghastliness is there also, chivalry, and so on and so forth. Like Bhishma, he had a darshan also. But he did not see it in the same way as Arjuna. So some, according to the acharyas, they were given divine eyes. Those who were given divine eyes, they are bhaktas. But because of their position, their relationship with the Supreme Lord, they had witnessed this Virat Rup. Even Lord Brahma, he witnessed this. Some of the demigods. Just to go back, I can understand the bones, stocks.
Analogy in the purport you were reading, it was mentioning that different parts of the Lord are different forms of
Yeah.
the universe.
Yeah.
In that analogy, there is a mention of the stocks equal to the bones of the Lord. The stock of mountain, I remember.
Yeah, it's stocks of it's like, the carvings, the mountains, like they have this peaks, stocks, peaks.
Okay, now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like our bone is like not, our ribs is like going like this. So. It would be nice, you can go back to that and you read the purport. We didn't read the purport, that's why we didn't, otherwise it'll take us. It's in the first chapter of the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The whole universal form. It's about Virat Rup. Yes, sir.
As you were saying that demigods were somewhere enmity with the Lord, but whereas when God was killing any demons or anybody, and these demigods used to shower flowers from the earth, so they were glorifying Krishna. So how they could have the enmity with him?
Some of them are, in a sense, they are like envious also. Not all the time. They may be in that position. Like Sukracharya. He's a demigod, but he's envious of Vamana. Right?
He was not envious of Vamana, he was afraid that everything will go and he will not get
He is
anything.
envious of him because Bhamana is taking everything.
His share is being lost.
Yeah, where is my dakshina?
One more point.
Right?
One more point.
You take away, if he takes away everything, nothing will be left for me. So you should not follow him. You should not, you should not fulfill. So that means envy is there.
One more point. As you were mentioning, when Yashoda was reciting different shlokas.
Yeah. Mantras. Narayan Kavacha
She
or...
was reciting Narayan Kavacha. It was mentioned that in 6th canto Narayan Kavacha there. So she was reciting Narayan Kavacha. You said some mantras, so I just rectify this was only Narayan Kavacha she was reciting. Thank you.
This is the nature of the absolute truth. He, in order for his devotees to get more attracted to him, the love which binds between the devotees and the Supreme Lord becomes stronger and stronger. He puts them into illusion that he is God. And this is the Yoga Maya potency. Either you are in Mahamaya or in Yoga Maya. Right now we're in Mahamaya. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the class. This universal form of the Lord is very, very difficult to conceive for devotees. They see Lord as a person, and then Bhagavatam goes on describing so many ways the universal form is manifested. There are so many people met in the West also that they do not believe in God as a person, and they believe in some kind of energy, and they might be atheist also. They believe in the existence of some kind of power, universe, they see that as a power.
Sure.
If they meditate upon this form as their understanding is, will they advance in their spiritual life?
Yes.
Can we give them
Yes.
this tool to advance in the spiritual
You
life?
see, the way yeyatamam prapajante tam sataiva bhajamiham. Even the aborigines, when they heard some thunder or fire, they worship them. So the act of worship is beneficial for the worshipper, even in the impersonal, material elements, that eventually they will rise up, make progress. Eventually, their consciousness will be so developed that they will accept the sastras, the teachings of the sastra. So, yes, you can worship the sun. They have sun worshippers, right? They do Surya Namaskar. But they don't believe in God, they don't believe in Krishna. They know that Surya is the eyes of God. But the personal feature is not yet realized. So ultimately, when you meet a devotee, then you'll understand, yes, the moon and the sun are his eyes, all of these things, as you can explain like this. And the original source of everything is Krishna. So gradually, Krishna. See, this is the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord. He doesn't force anyone immediately into the platform of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Depending on our ability to perceive and receive knowledge, He gradually raise you up to that point that someday, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, don't disrespect anyone. Be respectful to any religion. some religions, they're fanatics. They said, if you're not like us, then you're useless, you go to hell or whatever. No. In Vaishnava tradition, our understanding is that we're all devotees of Krishna. Even the most demoniac personality is also a devotee, but he's just covered up. So the more they come to the platform of worshiping the Supreme Lord, even worshiping demigods. The Virat Rup actually is worshiping of demigods also. It's different parts or limbs of the Supreme Lord. Eventually they'll come to the platform of worshiping Krishna. We don't discourage them, but we tell them that, hey, what you're receiving from such and such demigod, Krishna is the source, so why not worship Krishna? It's like, we have, in the beginning, we have many of our members, they're worshiping Lord Shiva, Ganesh, Saraswati, Durga, and if you go to their home, you'll see all of these different demigods there. And they have Krishna there also. So you gradually try to relate to them so as you don't give them overdose of medicine. You just gradually let them know that this is how it works. And because of their attachment, they don't want to give up the worship. He says, don't worry, it's not really an offense. It's not an offense if you put them aside and have just Krishna on the altar. You don't worry. Actually, they become more happy if you worship Krishna. You see? But in the beginning, hey, you're in Maya. What are you doing? They will lose faith. So gradual. Even the aborigines, in this lifetime, they worship the fire, or they worship the sun, or the thunder. Then gradually they'll come to that level where they will be chanting the holy name of the Lord. Main thing is, don't discourage anyone, but try to come to their level, and then eventually you raise them up for the proper understanding, and then they'll appreciate it more. And when you meet a person in the street, you ask him, my dear sir, just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. You don't tell him, no meat eating, no, you don't tell them immediately like that. No? Do we tell them? Oh, no, you're eating meat? No, you cannot chant Hare Krishna. Did we tell them? No. Then no one will chant Hare Krishna out there. They become purified eventually. Huh? Yeah, they'll. Prabhupada in the beginning, he did not give any rules. No, just tell them chant. Only later on, when he says the time of initiation, that these are the rules. But in the beginning, no, just chant. Because no one will chant. If Prabhupada says in the beginning that this is what you should do. No? So those who are still attached to material sense enjoyment, they worship different demigods, different, parts of this Virat Rup. They may not know that this is Virat Rup that they are worshipping, but then you'll explain later on that actually this is the Virat Rup. You understand? Anything else? Jai! Virat Rup ki Jai! Srila Prabhupada ki Jai! Yithai Gaur Premanande!